Fantastic. So maybe we'll start with Peter. Maybe start like we always start. Tell us a little bit about gratitude for the first 60 seconds. Put us in a mood of being grateful for little things in life, and then we'll start with questions. Thank you, Peter. Go ahead.
Well, since the financial call, I'll start with a curveball version of it. Is a lot of people that haven't had much of wealth, whatever they consider that in the screen. To some people, that's 10,000, 100,000, a million, 10 million. Everybody has a perception of how much wealth is. When you're in a desire, like desperate, you don't have shelter, you don't have food. Of course, you're gonna take care of those situations. But if you have a place where you're like waking up in a bed with sheets and you have running water and access to some kind of food, having a bunch of numbers in the screen is great. It can make your comfort more comfortable, but it doesn't equate to happiness. So chasing a bunch of numbers in the screen, of course, it's important to be in balance, important to invest in yourself and understand how things work. But true happiness is not going to come from attaining some number in the screen when you get there, because when you do get there, you're going to have a goal of a much bigger number. And then your life becomes chasing these numbers in the screen. That's what it really becomes, because very few of us actually have cash. Like there's almost no millionaire I know, unless I go back to Sherburne where I grew up and try to find some people from 20 years ago that may have a million in cash till this day if they didn't go to jail yet. But besides that, most regular people, when they make wealth, it's numbers in the bank account. In the crypto world, it's numbers like how much cryptocurrency you have, how many Bitcoins or how many Ethereum. These are all digital number representations. So true happiness is from things that we do daily that makes us smile. And you don't need a bunch of numbers on a screen to make you smile. Like you might think you need to take a private jet somewhere, but when you land at that location, what do you do? Do you go to the beach? Do you walk? Do you enjoy nature? Do you go to a nightclub? Do you take an art class? You could probably do most of those things or some similar version now. Don't wait to get a bunch of numbers on a screen to start thinking you're going to be happy. Like be happy right now. Like you have a trillion things going on in your body for you to be alive and breathing. You could cut yourself and your body would just magically heal without you doing anything. That's a miracle. Like we're all miracles here. So just be grateful for life, and we'll talk about the finances and fun stuff as well.
Thank you so much. Victoria is saying thank you, Peter, and thank you for inviting Victoria's. Victoria, we'll start with you. We'll start with old school before we go to young snappers here. Victoria, give us the question from from our generation. Maybe something that what you're curious about or what you are not sure at all about crypto world, something very simple. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you, Svetlana. Hello, all. I'm curious about Bitcoin. I don't know nothing, but I'm very interested. So can you tell a little bit more, please?
Okay, well, what makes the technology special? It's a technology, first of all. It's a technology that human beings chose to use as a currency that does few other things, but it's a technology first. And the technological problem that Bitcoin solved was everything on the internet before Bitcoin that was digital, you can make 1,000, a million, a billion copies of, whether it be a video, a photo, a paragraph. So there's been many attempts of making something digital and rare on the internet. There was something called e-gold in the 90s that didn't succeed because they weren't able to solve that problem of not replicating something digital. There was PayPal who looked to be solve this issue and they couldn't figure it out. So they started working with the banks and became very successful as a payment option for people. So Bitcoin is the first thing on the planet to solve digital rarity. It's something that if I transfer to someone and there's three of us there and I transfer it to you and try to transfer to someone a second later, I no longer have it. I can't send it to that third person. The person I send it to now has access to it. So they have that digital rarity. And human beings, typically anything that's rare, why do we have a gold standard once upon a time? And gold was considered currency for so long because it was rare, hard to attain. Rare jewels and diamonds and stones were always considered a form of payment because they're rare. And just like now we have rare art and rare kind of real estate places around the world. Anything that's rare, we put into a value. So it's natural that Bitcoin creating digital rarity became into a form of like digital form of digital money or digital gold in the store of wealth because it's limited, and it's actually more limited than gold because the gold gets busier, more gold mines appear around the world, more mining companies. Here it's there's only a finite amount of Bitcoin specifically, and that's never going to change. It's locked in computer code.
Peter, where we can start for learn everything about Bitcoin?
So you can
How we
start by
can
reading
start?
the white. You can start by reading the white paper if you like to read. It's only about 9 pages or so. It's a very easy read. It's not that you're gonna understand it, but maybe once you watch a documentary right after or a podcast, there's Bitcoin Magazine. You could find articles or get magazines physically, just depending on how you like to learn. Right. So there's many information, but above that, I would say as you're doing that in your first day or in your first couple of days, as you're like you go to ATM around you. There's Bitcoin ATMs everywhere. Just type in Bitcoin ATM near me, and there's one
Mhm.
walking distance or a very short drive away. So go and actually open a Bitcoin wallet. It costs you nothing. An email address, in some cases, you don't even need that anymore. You can just open a Bitcoin wallet and go buy $20 of Bitcoin at a local ATM. If you want to start heavier, I could recommend a broker at Spadina and Dundas. She'll take a few percent, which will be better than the ATMs, but you can start with $200 or $2,000 if you're a wealthier person. But even $20, not about the money. It's use the technology. So imagine people are giving you books on the internet 30 years ago, and you were saying, no, I don't want to use the internet. I'm just going to keep reading these books. But someone like me would say, hey, why don't you read the books and use the internet? That's how you're going to actually learn. So actually going and getting that little $20 of Bitcoin is going to teach you a lot more than watching 4 hours of articles or watching 4 hours of podcasts and documentaries, whatever the case may be. It's much more powerful to go and use the technology.
Peter, can you provide, please, this brokerage information?
Yeah, Svilano add a link to it. It's her name is Lou, and she's located. We'll get all the exact details. We'll get her address and everything up there. If you don't have her info, I can pull it up after.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Victoria. And she's also from immigrant family, has Vietnamese background and very savvy in money, and was one of the first one introducing exchange on from dollar to Bitcoin, and actually sponsor of immigrant women in business. She consistently sponsors the organization in order to help our women to capitalize on cryptocurrency and to on this beautiful technology that was created. Thank you, Victoria. And I'll introduce you. I'll do the introduction and I'll share the information in the chat. Anybody else from old people? It's funny. My old people. We feel pretty young. We feel pretty good. Massey, why don't we get young people before Ibis here logging in, and I know that a couple of more my founding members are logging in. Macy, tell us. I mean, I know that you're studying, you creative, CAD. You're from Vietnam as well, right?
Yeah, I am Vietnamese.
Oh, here we go. Any questions from young, creative, talented immigrant about crypto?
So how do you start? Like, what's the first position you start? Like, do you just go to a crypto ATM and like purchase like $20 of Bitcoin? Because I tried using what the ATM last week, like the crypto ATM, tried to buy like $1,000 of like crypto. Well, not for myself, for a company. Just as a trial period. And they give me a code to do it. And how does like I still don't have any idea of like how does it operate, like how if I want like to buy crypto on my own, like how do I start, for example?
So why I say $20 with the ATM? It's like if you send $20 and you made a mistake, that's going to be the best $20 mistake you could make in crypto, as opposed to making a $2,000 or $200,000 mistake that could happen in the future. So you fail your way to success. So I prefer you didn't. But if you make a mistake, I don't want it to be $1,000 mistake. I want it to be a 20, 50, $10 mistake, right? So that's why I say if it's going to be $200 and above, I would highly recommend going to, it doesn't have to be my broker. You could find any Bitcoin broker. Like I don't make any commissions. I just refer her because she's been great to me. So any Bitcoin broker or a female, I can recommend you downtown, and she'll guide you through the first purchase. Like as long as you have an app, she might ask you, did you back up the app? Did you back up the word? She may not, but you could ask her questions and it'll be a much more fluid interaction. And like she'll scan it in front of you and you guys will both verify it's going to the same account. So you'll deal with a human which is still has its advantages. Like the AI and the ATMs are not very social. Maybe in like 50 years or 13 years, but not yet. So it's better to have a human to like guide you through the first couple transactions, if possible.
We'll make it happen. Thank you so much, Peter. Great answer. And why we're sending them somewhere else, if people that want to have, we'll send you to our people that we know. Luz again, Luz, our sponsor. She's our friend, and she has a fantastic personality, heart of gold, clever, sharp, intelligent, and kind. So we want to recommend those people. Macy, I'll do the introduction as well as for Victoria. So we'll connect you to Lou. She's amazing. And Judy has a question. Judy is Peter, experienced entrepreneur and also early adopter in cryptocurrency. Judy Emden, you probably met Peter in the past, but please go ahead with your question. Thank you.
Hey guys, you know what? I do not have a question. I just wanted to tell you how happy I am that I was finally able to get the opportunity to audit one of your sessions because I know it's going to be absolutely amazing. And I have some incredible information that I would love to share with the both of you. I'm not going to, put it into your session, but I definitely want to share it with the both of you. And I am so happy to actually be able to be on one of your sessions.
Fantastic. We're happy to have you, Judy. If you can share your personal contact information so we connect with you. So I know that you support women empowerment and any entrepreneurial innovative solutions that make the world a better place. Thank you for being with us today. And Yelena, you have a question. Yelena, the question from financial advisor. So we usually financial people joining our event. Yelena is financial advisor in the field. With World Financial Group, has been helping immigrants with financial education. Thank you, Yelena, for being our leader. And please go ahead with your question.
Okay, Peter, how are you seeing crypto in next 5 years? And second question is, I am financial advisor. What about security?
So security is just a matter of having it in cold storage, which meaning you buy a device that looks kind of like a USB stick. And it's as easy as setting up an iPad for the first time, which if you've never set up an iPad before has some complications, but it's not made to be complicated. It's made to be simple. So after buying a Trezor, a Ledger, KeepKey, there's a few other competitors that enter the market that are good. So there's about a handful of options. I recommend the Ledger for the price personally. On a Trezor if you want to spend a little more, but it's not really relevant. So if you have it stored there, and you don't show your private words, like meaning your 24 words that tells you to secure, if you don't have anyone has access to those, your funds are completely safe. I'm not going to answer the 5-year question. I'll answer a 1-year question. I'll give you a 5-year perspective. In the next year, it's going to continue expanding. And whether the market goes up or down is the less relevant part. We're going to go through a phase of either DeFi fixing itself or minimizing itself, depending on how the actions of the platforms and people's choices go. So the trending thing of DeFi is going to be less.
Hold on, Peter. DeFi. Tell Yelena what's DeFi.
Decentralized finance. So all the stuff that people are giving you, like compound interest in crypto, not the scam side, the actual, like if you like stake on Ethereum or Polkadot, maybe these big ones will still give you dividends, but we have to see what happens if they're going to like succeed in the next coming year. Then it might be a year, might be a few more. There'll be something else that trends that won't be NFTs. And I think they'll here to stay, the art form side of it. I think they'll pivot to social media. Like every social media post will probably be an NFT one day if we live a more logical world, in my opinion. Again, we have to see how the world plays out. And then 5 years, you're going to look at massive market caps with adoption on a different level. Like we've only been in the 1 to 2 trillion mark for a matter of months, not even years. We come in for a few months, maybe a calendar year, and then our market cap drops as cryptocurrency below that. A lot of big institutions, like maybe ones you're involved with or ones you recommend to the more traditional markets, they look at asset classes in the trillions. So if you're not even a 1 trillion market class, they don't even consider you. That will change in the next 5 years. So whether we match gold's market cap, just Bitcoin itself, which would be about $500,000 of Bitcoin, that would bring it to about a $10 trillion market cap, just Bitcoin. And maybe all of crypto is double or triple that. or maybe Bitcoin really does become the gold relic and it has a $30 trillion market cap. Maybe gold inflates to about the same. So maybe gold goes from 12 or 11 trillion today to 30 as well. And we match that, and all other crypto might be worth 20 or 30. Nobody has a crystal ball, but you're going to start seeing a different class of investors and institutions being involved. And it's not going to be the Uber driver and the taxi people anymore recommending crypto tips and everyone going to be involved in crypto. It's going to be actual institutional, like now there's going to be real investors and people who pretend to invest, and that's going to be more evident in the next 5 coming years.
Fantastic. I think it was a great answer. I'm learning something. I mean,
Judy wanted to share something about her. I think Judy, did you want to share something about what was happening? I think Mom kind of cut you off there.
no, she said that she didn't want to. She didn't want to steal the audience. But you, Julie, please, you're welcome to share anything that you are excited about today.
Well, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. I have to tell you, there is an unprecedented opportunity that has come about. We have never seen anything like this. Now, over the years, we have seen different crypto platforms that provide people with tremendous returns, 300, 500%. But a lot of these platforms are iffy. Sometimes we're giving our money to people we don't know. As we've seen in this recent shakeout, a lot of these people are not properly capitalized. Well, for the first time in history, we have a licensed, fully creditable, regulated financial institution, credible international trading partners, a top 3 international trading company that has traded through all market conditions, through bull markets, bear markets, black swan events over the past 12 years, and have a proven successful track record, have never lost a penny of clients' money, and have now given us the opportunity to earn 300 to 500% or more guaranteed with minimal risk. It is absolutely unprecedented, and the company is matching dollar for dollar every dollar you put in your account. It's tremendous. But the beauty about it is you don't have to fund your account right away. And you could, as an example, we have it's like a very similar to if your bank offered you a CD. Let's say, we all know what CDs are, certificate of deposits. Well, if they offered you a CD, open up a CD account and we will pay you dollar for dollar for life, regardless of when you decide to fund that account. I mean, it is unprecedented, the caliber of international trading partner that has, come to the fore. And we're calling it the scam killer, okay? Because it is so credible, so legitimate that all these other high yield scammy things out there will be out of business. So that is what I'm excited about, and that's what I wanted to share with you.
So I personally don't know anything about it, but opportunities with crypto, I mean, it's coming to us from all over. And Peter, maybe you'll touch a little bit because we're getting, no matter where I go. I just spoke at the conference last week, and I was bombarded with people. Oh, I know that you, Peter, your son is in cryptocurrency, and each and every one who came to me, they said they lost money in crypto because it ended up being scam. It's ended up being, Peter, can you please? I didn't even know what to tell them. I told them, I mean, listen to what Peter gets to say, because he's very experienced and he does his due diligence. He knows founders of the companies, how things work. How do we deal with that? Peter, hold with your questions, guys. Peter, maybe you can tackle with me that one, because I'm being bombarded right now. Mm-hmm.
What would it take me to explain somebody in weeks or months? I could probably see in a matter of minutes or like tens of minutes. It doesn't usually take me hours to discover a platform, and especially I could just go on the phone. It'd take me about 20 minutes to realize there's no one that answers the phone. That's sometimes okay too, but then how do I contact somebody, right? So for me, it's a lot faster. It takes me a few minutes usually to decipher. So for me to coach people how to figure it out, it's much easier before you send the money to check with someone like myself or someone that has 5+ years experience or 3 aggressive years in the space at the very least. Like, don't trust the guy who just got in 18 months ago that's saying this is the best thing. Like, find someone that's been in the space 3, 4, preferably 5+ years, and let them look at it. Even if you have to, if whatever the energy doesn't connect with me and like not someone directly, if there's someone 2 degrees off that doesn't want to reach out, tell them to find someone they're comfortable with. Pay somebody $50, $100 a consultation fee. If you don't know, go through a stranger even, but consult with someone. Don't try to decipher it yourself. It's, if you don't know how to use crypto. Another thing I would say is I teach people to hold real crypto. So buy real Bitcoin, buy real Ethereum. I would minimize the alts. I would say your portfolio should be at least a third to 50% Bitcoin. You want to have another third in altcoins or DeFi plays? Why not, right? But make sure you have access to your funds. Now, Judy, when it comes to things you're talking about, I'm not against the right ones, but I would only recommend a maximum of 5, 10, maybe 15% at the top of your crypto portfolio. Would I personally recommend someone to diversify something out of their control? Because I teach people to hold their own wealth, like not the bank, not a company. Not that I do have trust issues. I do have trust issues. So either if I could hold the asset, I'll rather hold it. If I want to take 5% of my portfolio, 10%, and experiment with something that's giving great compounds, why not? Just holding Bitcoin alone the last 5 years, maybe right now it seems down, but it averages you about 200% returns yearly if you do the mathematics just on the last 5 years. We're not talking about the explosive first 7 years of its existence. So even just
Fantastic advice. Yes, thank you so much, Peter. Akash has a question. Akash, go for it. Young and driven with entrepreneurial spirit and sales experience. Akash is coming all the way, Peter, from DC to July 15th event to meet you. So here we go. Akash, go ahead.
Hey Peter, I hope you're doing well. So I just have a basic question that I usually ask most of the crypto experts that I've ever came across. Like through all of the crypto funding and everything, see, there's no law to maintain cryptocurrency, right? There is nothing to you can regulate crypto. So why should person like who is investing in our traditional funds would go for crypto if there's just a risk of 75-50 or something like that? And apart from that, do you think crypto being like can crypto be regulated like we usually do in the global governments or the traditional funds? That's just a small question that I have.
So let me make sure I heard you right. Are you asking is that you see me like it's a negative that it's not verified to the banks? And the second part, if you just rephrase the last part of the two questions, are you asking is it
So my question exactly is like why as a person who's working in traditional funds would like to invest in crypto if it's not regulated by the government? First thing. Second, crypto can vary if like just talking about Elon Musk one tweet can decide crypto is higher or lowers, right? So why would someone would invest into something that can be influenced so easily?
well, all the best things come from the free market in the world. Imagine that government said, you know what, we're only going to make smartphones based through our technology and our government. You know how bad the smartphones would be? You think if Zoom had to work through government regulations to be built, all the best products that we use in the world come from free markets. They don't come from regulated, like name me 3 successful companies or even 2 I would be impressed to hear about that were made, that were government funded, that worked with the government from with government employees, and they built something that we all use today, including Elon Musk. If Elon Musk listened to the government officials, then there would be no SpaceX, there would be no Tesla, there would be no Boring Company if Elon Musk worked with the regulators and followed what they said. So the best things on the planet that all humans thrive on actually come from free markets. And that comes for products, services, everything. So I think that it's succeeding in a marketplace it shouldn't because it's a form of money. So the government has taken down every other, even PayPal was on its way to form a form of Bitcoin, whatever they would have called it, and the government stopped them. Imagine PayPal made a digital rarity 5 years, 8 years before Bitcoin. It would be that much more ahead in cryptocurrency today. So the regulators are actually, when you're thriving and the regulators are working against you, that's a very good thing. So in my opinion, it's kind of opposite. Like I would say, and you want to be diversified. If you're working in the mainstream world, like maybe like if I'm all in crypto, it would be smart to have some index funds in the S&P 500 or own certain assets in that world. I don't think you should put all your eggs in one basket. So if you're already all into the government state and all your assets are in one ecosystem, why not take 1%, 5%, 15%, depending how risk adverse you are, right? How much research you've done in this asset space and diversify just in case if things don't go as well as you think they always have. Because talk to people around the world. Like I was born in Russia, Moscow. I don't know how many times our banks failed. Talk to most banking systems around the world. How much times has it disappointed them? Because it hasn't majorly happened yet here in Canada and US. I wouldn't put all my eggs in that team personally.
All right. But like my question is basically like the like the stock marketers do invest in traditional funds, long-term investments, right? Because many sites or many census data says that if you want to invest in crypto, they always tell you to invest like 5 or 6% of your portfolio that you want to invest. It's because that I think that people are not going forward with cryptos because crypto is not providing that sense of security about your money, right? Because you said it's like a 50-50 deal. You risk it all or you get it all.
So in your opinion,
So
hold on, sorry to interrupt, but you make it sound like crypto is failing. Crypto is the most successful
no,
trend in anything on
I'm
the planet. There's nothing that's
definitely not
trended more
saying
than
that.
crypto in the world at this speed. It's expanding faster than the internet. We'll have 1 billion users in the next year or two. We'll have 5 billion users most likely in 3 to 7 years, maybe 4 or 5. Nothing has grown the exponential speed. Nothing, no technology, no app, no nothing has grown as fast as crypto. So for you to make it sound like it's failing because the regulators or you're just making it seem very negative. So that's why I'm interrupting you. It's a very positive, proactive, happy movement that's thriving like no other. The price going down 80% from its peak or whatever it is, 75% has nothing to do with what the technology is doing and the strides it's making to enhance people's day-to-day life and the users that are expanding, that are opening their minds, that they don't need to ask permission to communicate and do finance internationally. You could open a business, verify through NFTs that cost you nothing that this is actually made where it said it's made, and sell to anyone in the world without permission. That's amazing, and that's not going to go away.
That's true. I'm not even denying that the crypto is advancing really well, and crypto is advancing at a speed that none of us have ever seen before, right? But my question to you is basically, right? Do you think there would be like if crypto is going so much, like if crypto is booming so much, would you think that after some time government would really interfere with this free market to regulate it or not? Because if you're talking about
If they could have done it, they would have done it 5 years ago. In 2015, it was the
yeah,
last time that the governments could have potentially combined NASA's computers with China's, with Russia's, and all of them somehow agreed to work on this one thing. They've never agreed to work on one thing ever in the history of the 200 governments we have. So if somehow they decided in 2015, so sorry, 7 years ago, if they decided to somehow collaborate all their computing power at that time when Bitcoin's network was a fraction of what it is now, they might have had a chance to corrupt the Bitcoin network and overturn it. Right now, it's the biggest computing system in the world. I don't know how 100-fold over. So they'll have no way. If there was a building or a person they could kill or blow up to stop crypto, they would have done it many times ago. There's no person they could. There's no group of people they could take out. Yeah, you could maybe take out Vitalik and Ethereum will slow down, but will smart contract technology slow down? No, it will just be slowed down, but it won't be taken away. So same with Bitcoin. It's here to stay. It's not corruptible. That's what makes it different. Like right now, if we had an EMP attack around the world, but technology came back 2 days later, your banking system would not be operating. But Bitcoin has satellites all over space that'll be verifying our blockchain. Like we're so much more advanced than the current state of regime. I wouldn't concern yourself about them. Look at if they were able to regulate it, they would have already stopped it 7 years ago. So now we're beyond that conversation. If you go deeper and do the research,
yeah.
you understand that the concerns you have are mathematically illogical. The only thing that could happen is if we go back to hunting and gathering and there's no electricity. And in that world, there's no bank, there's no nothing. So I wouldn't worry about Bitcoin in that world either.
Okay. So this is my last question, then I'll push off. Can a crypto wallet be hacked?
Cold wallet could be hacked and they always are. Sorry, a hot wallet could be that's one that's on the internet. The cold wallet, what I started this conversation today with, when you buy a Ledger, a Trezor, and nobody sees your 24 words? No, never, not once in the history. And Bitcoin's actual blockchain has never once been corrupted. Maybe arguably in the first 18 months when it was worth $0, 0 cents. But ever since Bitcoin is worth a penny and above, not once was the Bitcoin main blockchain compromised. Ethereum had some hiccups along the way. They had to do a hard fork. They had a little hack when they launched the DAO back in the day. So there's every story has its exceptions, but Bitcoin is the godfather of not making mistakes. Since it's had a value of anything, it's never once been corrupted on the main network.
Fantastic. Akash, thank you so much. Let's take the last question. Who wants to ask the last question? Go ahead.
Can I make a comment before you take the last question?
Yes, please.
I just want to back up what Peter said, because Bitcoin cannot be stopped. They have tried, they have looked every which way, and they have come to the conclusion that it cannot be stopped. Even the other day, the UK was trying to come up with some type of regulation for transfers to private wallets, and it was the most ridiculous legislation possible, to the point where when it was first proposed, we all laughed. And this morning it was announced that they're reversing their position because it was ridiculous. So Bitcoin is here to stay, and it cannot be stopped.
Fantastic. And whose comment is that?
That's me, Judy Emden.
Oh, Judy, thank you so much. Judy, I appreciate that. Anybody else has a question before we go? Young people. Sandeep, you have a question. Go for it. We have a bunch of hands. Arina has a question. Arina, go first.
Hi, guys. My question is about like other cryptocurrencies. So other than Bitcoin, what would you recommend if people want to get another cryptocurrency, what they should do? Like, should they, investigate, read white papers, hear what's, buzzing, what's popular? Like, how do they make that decision?
I would choose a sector you're more passionate about. So if you're like interested in finances, maybe research decentralized finance more, DeFi. If you're more research into art and like creating things and the creative side of this technology could offer, maybe you go into the NFT side of things. If you're looking for solutions to like things that are like technical, and maybe like, not to say you need to be a coder, but you like to see things on that side of it, there's plays that are solving real life solutions. So you need to decide what you want to research. But I would still say keep at least a third to 50% in Bitcoin. That's a mistake that most people do. Maybe down the road, as this technology takes off, and it'll be more clear what the top 3, 5, 2, 10, 50 winners are, whatever it is. But right now it's very dicey. So I would go another big chunk in Ethereum. So let's say a healthy portfolio would be 40% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum. And then for the other 40%, pick 8 5% projects or 4 10% projects, right? That's based on the research you do. And I would do less than more in the beginning, right? And if you really like a project, you could maybe start taking some of that project and diversifying into smaller aspects of it. Because if you're doing especially like smart contract plays and you have a bunch of Polkadot, for example, or Ethereum or Elrond, it's easy to diversify those to other assets that could be very trending. And the habit is to always take your profits in Bitcoin. Or if you're on an Ethereum based platform and you jump into something small, you have to make it a habit to, when that platform is illogically trending, to take some of your profits back into Ethereum. Or in a Polkadot network, same concept. You take some of your Polkadot that you started with 10% of your portfolio, take 25% of that, so 2.5% of your entire portfolio goes into some risky platform on Polkadot. But if that booms extremely high, you have to have the habit of taking your profit back to Polkadot, and then maybe even back to Bitcoin, and take it into dollars, gold, if you like that stuff as well, index funds, whatever you want to take your real estate, wherever you want to take your profits, that's just but that's the mistake I see people not doing. They get into these altcoins, they get emotionally attached, and they ride the wave up and they ride the wave down, and they don't actually make any real life changing impacts for themselves through it, because they kind of don't have the emotional control. So even I've been guilty of that with many projects.
Thank you, Peter. That's excellent. Peter is all teeth synced in the industry. Any questions you have, anywhere you want to move, he has already done it. So contact him. Tony, you new here with us. You want to ask the question before we go? And Sandeep, Tony, yes, go ahead. Sandeep?
Yes, hi, Peter. You explained it really, really well that how cryptocurrencies work and how why Bitcoin is so popular and why we should invest it. I just have one more question. Like as I've heard that it works on the blockchain technology, and just tell me the difference between IOTA, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all these different coins, and why should I have to research in each of those coins before investing, or what's the difference? What's the how should I see all these coins, and how do I decide which coins do I have to invest?
So, like I was saying, it's easier to get passionate about research it all, to start researching decentralized finance, NFTs, ICOs, all at the same time. It's going to overwhelm your brain. Like I was blessed that these things came out one stage at a time, so I had several weeks, months, in some cases years, to adapt to every new trend. Whereas right now, I don't even have. I could only imagine how hard it would be to come from just. I came from just Bitcoin. There was like 7 or 30 altcoins when I started, and like half of them were just copy paste Bitcoin, like Purecoin, Litecoin, Ripple was there, I guess,
Right,
but it was like
right.
very basic in the space. Now it's overwhelming, and there's so much content. There was so little content 8 years ago compared to now. So that's why I say, besides Bitcoin, if you like smart contracts, read into like the Ethereums, the Polkadots, the Elrons, IOTA. I don't like as much, but anything you're into, and go to their website, read their mission statement. If you want to read the white paper, that's always, of course, great. If the white paper is too long, skim through the white paper, read the parts that connect with you, right? I would go, and
Right.
then on the investment side, look at market caps. If you want to be a disciplined investor in the space, don't look at the coin price. Look at the market cap. So you go to any coinmarketcap.com, World Coin Index, any of these websites, and you, for example, Bitcoin today, I'm just throwing out a number. Let's say it's 400 billion, and Ethereum is about 200 billion. That's not exact numbers. And you find a competitor to Ethereum that's worth 20 billion, right? And you think, you know what? In my research and my intuition, I really believe that this is going to be as big as Ethereum or bigger. So that could go from a 20 billion market cap to 200. That's a tenfold, right? So it doesn't matter the price of the token, as long as it's a fixed amount supply of tokens, they're not hyper like something like for example, something like a Ripple, or maybe not so much Ripple these days, but definitely like um Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. Those are like creating thousands every second with no cap. So as long as you actually have a fixed supply coin, and then you look at the market cap, don't chase the price of the coins, and understand that if you find the more successful project, and if you're seeing a smaller one, why is it going to get there? What is it doing unique? What is it doing? Like, these are the kind of questions you should be asking yourself if you want to diversify. But like I said, I would keep a big chunk in Bitcoin, a big chunk in Ethereum, and I wouldn't spread yourself too thin. I would find, like I said, 4 to 8 projects to go into with a smaller part of your portfolio. Definitely less than 50%.
That's a great advice, Peter. Actually, initially everyone is so confused because we have so much lack of knowledge and so many scattered knowledge that we've been seeing so many videos and all. We don't exactly know what exactly it does. So by getting those knowledge from white papers you suggested and from your YouTube page, and just getting into this cryptocurrency the one step at a time, so we can build great experience and portfolio in it, and then we can further decide maybe what exactly we have to do.
Yeah, like I said, you got it right. And the thing I was saying too, besides, pick one category. So if you're more like if your goal in this space is to be a creator, like whether you do music or poetry or writing or blogging or whatever you do, maybe it makes sense for you to research NFTs and creating digital unique content. And that makes you excited. If you like numbers and you're into more for trading, maybe you start researching just basic trading or decentralized finance, which is a little bit more
Okay.
complicated. But it just, pick one category and give yourself days, weeks, months, however long it takes to somewhat understand that before you jump to the next one, and start with the one you're most interested in first. And once you understand Bitcoin, the basics, then you picked another, you whether it be ICOs, NFTs, decentralized finance, or whatever smaller trends like metaverses or whatever's going on, whatever trend you pick, that's the way I go. And these days also, there's lots of index funds, right? So if you get to the example, like you like metaverses and NFTs, there's metaverse index funds that are decentralized, that like have a team of people deciding what is the top trending projects, and they're always voting and they're active. So they have years more experience on you. So you could diversify to more like bigger cap things like index funds for NFTs, index funds for DeFi, they exist in cryptocurrency when you research them. And that might be the best route for newcomers to go, because you're exposing yourself and you can research what that platform's doing. And they're going to be doing the right things. These are professionals, and it'll kind of like you have free mentorship and you're invested because you put some of your time, effort, resources, current in there, right?
Got it, people. You seem so much pumped up. That's a great extensive knowledge that we have received today. It's a great point of view. Thank you.
My pleasure. So I don't know if there's any last questions. I guess we could wrap it up. But if anyone has any last things, just say it out loud. If not, we're going to close it off. Well, thank you everyone for taking the time and tuning in. It's always been a pleasure. We'll be doing this again, I'm sure, next month. And don't be shy, right? This anything you're not sure of, take some action. My contact information is everywhere. Don't be shy to give me a call or a text. I'm good on the phone. I'm pretty accessible. Thank you again for coming out. It's been a pleasure.
Svetlana, could you check your direct messages before you go?
I think she had a connection issue. I think she disconnected. I don't know if she's reconnecting right now or not.
Ah.
There, but she usually does not. She always shows her video, so it's unusual.
Okay.
If your information was put in the thing, I'm sure she's gonna like follow up with everyone. She's very good at that.
Sorry, guys. Yes. Sorry. Thank you so much, Peter. Sorry. Thank you for holding the meeting. We can go, right? We all good? Mahdi had a chance to ask his question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in a month from now. Ibi, thank you for joining us. Judy, thank you for your time, and we look forward to learn about your opportunity. Macy, Elena, Olainka, God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon. And once again, Peter, thank you for for your gratitude exercise. And maybe Ibi, tell us what you're grateful for, so we close the meeting. Thank you so much. I know that we're grateful for Ibi. We buy water from her, the beautiful Kangen water. We're grateful for Ibi for her leadership because she educates people with love and intense education, how the importance of bringing right water in their household for us and for our four-legged friends. Thank you, Ibi.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. You can tell us goodbye and tell us what you're grateful for.
Well, I'm really grateful for being part of your team, and I'm so grateful for Peter for all his knowledge and everything that he shares with us. So thank you so much, Peter. I always learn lots from you. So thank you again, and all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Olainka. Bye for now, guys. Thank you, Judy.